Stop.
Tonight, the Perth households and families facing life on the streets as a ban on rent increases ends.
Book your COVID jab now, the plea to 6 million Australians as travel hope increases.
Dozens of arrests as climate activists disrupt the city rush.
Floods turn deadly. 20,000 evacuated from towns as dangerous waters now flow in 2 states.
Sticky situation, the new state Liberal leader confirmed as David Honey.
And prepare for a full house. Optus Stadium to get the nod for sellout crowds.
Live from Perth, 7 News with Susannah, Carr and Ardon.
Good evening. There are fears families will be forced into living in cars in 6 days' time when a ban ends on rental increases across WA. Restrictions had been put in place to stop people being evicted during the pandemic.
But as WA's recovery boomed, so has the housing market. And tenants 7 News has spoken to are receiving rent hikes costing them hundreds of dollars a week.
Packing up her life's belongings with nowhere to go.
In 7 days' time, I'll be homeless. It's so scary because I've never been in this situation before.
Leanne Magansky has lived in her Balladura home for the past 10 years with her daughter Jessica. But on Sunday, her weekly rent will jump by $130 to $380 a week. It's an amount she says she can't afford. The single mother has epilepsy and suffers ongoing seizures. It means she can't work or drive and survives on her disability pension.
I've tried everything and I don't know. I'm just lost.
The emergency tenancy laws were put in place by the state government at the height of the pandemic to protect tenants from being evicted and to stop rent increases. But Rewa says it's had a debilitating effect on the state's rental market.
The lifting of the moratorium will start to encourage investors to come back in the market. All these adjustments will be painful for some people, but ultimately it's the only way we're going to get out of the situation.
It's the tightest rental market Western Australia has seen in 40 years, as the rental vacancy for January fell to just 0.8%, and the average rent on a Perth property has risen by $40 per week. That works out as an extra $2,000 per year. The state government has already extended the moratorium twice since the pandemic began and says it won't be extending it any further. Instead, it's urging landlords to negotiate with their tenants before any price hikes.
I think we're heading down the barrel of the worst housing crisis this state has ever seen.
A COVID crisis hitting home. Anna Hay, 7 News.
A staggering logistical operation is underway tonight as 6 million Australians become eligible for the next phase of the COVID vaccination program.
As each day goes on, our country is becoming better prepared to handle outbreaks, and today, confirming that, Australia removed a ban on travel to New Zealand. But don't count on a trans-Tasman trip just yet.
For 6 million Australians, the countdown's begun.
1, 2, 3 shots now.
73-year-old Janice Stevens has seen vaccines change the world. Now she's among the first Australians to get the AstraZeneca COVID jab, part of Phase 1B, which started today.
I feel very privileged.
Phase 1B includes the elderly and unwell. Most will get the injection at their local GP.
We are used to vaccinating. Patients come to us for their vaccination, they trust us.
But supply is limited. Most clinics will only get 50 doses a week to start with because all vaccines used today are from overseas. The doses made at CSL in Victoria are being boxed up, ready to go. They just need final approval from the Therapeutic Goods Administration. That's expected in coming days. Then supply will really ramp up. CSL aiming to make 1 million doses a week.
And we'll be expecting in Western Australia about 100,000 doses a week by about the end of April.
The goal is for all Australians who want it, they'll be vaccinated by October. Until then,
we'd ask for patience.
Be patient. We do reinforce the need for patience.
Patience also required for international travel. Until today, Australians have needed an exemption to leave the country for any reason. Now we're one step closer to a travel bubble with New Zealand. The legislation banning international travel has been amended and it's now legal to cross the ditch. But you'll still have to quarantine. The New Zealand Prime Minister will announce dates for a trans-Tasman bubble next month. Cyan Doherty, 7 News.
Now to a developing story tonight. It's understood a coalition staffer has been sacked over new claims of indecent acts inside Parliament. A Senate hearing underway this evening heard allegations that solo sex acts were performed on desks of female MPs. They were allegedly recorded and then shared through messenger groups.
I'm disgusted and appalled at what I see alleged. It shows a complete disregard for all that our parliamentary democracy stands for.
The Sex Discrimination Commissioner is right now reviewing behaviour inside Parliament House after former staffer Brittany Higgins alleged she was raped in a ministerial office. We'll have more on that case soon in 7 News.
An overwhelming police presence has failed to stop hundreds of Extinction Rebellion protesters from shutting down Perth's CBD. The climate change activists defied orders to move on from St George's Terrace, so dozens were arrested.
Green protesters seeing red, advancing on a thin blue line. Hundreds of Extinction Rebellion activists nearly matched in numbers by police, shutting down the streets as they stood up or lay down for action on climate change.
We are kicking all that.
Deliberate disruption where campaigners were carried from St George's Terrace in slings.
Do you mind if I ask, what's it going to take you to move you from this spot?
A commitment to climate policy by the state government.
Police facilitated a welcome to country and die-in demonstration, but where there's smoke, there's fire.
Please back off the road, please.
27 people were arrested, 4 were charged.
What are you hoping this will achieve?
Raise awareness.
Among the arrested, Dr. Carolyn Orr.
I'm proud of what I'm doing.
Voluntarily locked up after attempting to break a political deadlock.
The climate crisis is getting worse and worse and worse, and more people are becoming aware of this. We're on the right side of history. So today it's all about hope.
They listened to the scientists when COVID hit, but why are they not listening to the scientists now?
Getting arrested might put an end to today's protest, but this is just the beginning. Extinction Rebellion have 5 days of national protest planned to try and draw attention to the climate crisis.
Similar scenes across the country, a dramatic twist on today's die-in display to keep their message alive. Ben Downey, 7 News.
The scale of the flood disaster on our nation's east coast is growing by the hour. Warnings now stretch from Queensland to southern New South Wales.
And it's turned deadly. A man has been killed in a car crash near Sydney. The rain is unrelenting and heartbreaking.
The rain is so torrential in Brisbane, it ripped up an entire street.
Wow, what a mess.
It looked like an earthquake had struck. Giant chunks of road missing, cars written off, residents with nowhere to go.
It was freaky, it really was, especially when the big, it was like a big geyser, just blew up.
This new bridge in Western Sydney was built to be flood-proof, a concept now being put to the test. It's been raining for days, and it's not over yet. The worst could still be to come.
We are expecting heavy rainfall until at least Wednesday, potential easing by Thursday.
The scale of this flood emergency is staggering. The heavy rain stretches from Brisbane all the way down the east coast to near the Victorian border and the northwest and central west of New South Wales. 18,000 people have been evacuated from their homes. 38 areas declared natural disaster zones. More than 200 schools closed.
I've been a flood forecaster in the Bureau for 20 years, and this is probably the worst flooding that I've experienced.
I don't know any time in our state's history when we've had these extreme weather conditions in such quick succession in the middle of a pandemic.
The SES has had 8,000 calls for help.
I've seen a bloke, old gentleman, sitting in the car quite distressed, waving at me.
The elderly driver was taken to hospital. Thankfully, no one in this car when it was washed away on the Gold Coast. Not just humans needing rescuing, dogs too. 20 saved from a boarding kennel as floodwaters rose. And livestock, including horses. Heartbreaking for farmers on the northwestern outskirts of Sydney. It remains an anxious time for the town of Kempsey on the mid-north coast. Locals could be stranded for days if the river bursts its banks.
Milk, bread, nappies, bananas.
No bread, no rolls, unfortunately. We're waiting for a flour truck to come through, and if they can't get through, we have no bread.
A dangerous 48 hours ahead. Nick McCallum, 7 News.
Robert Avadia is near Windsor on the outskirts of Sydney tonight. Robert, when are the waters expected to peak?
Well, those streetlights you see behind me are supposed to illuminate the bridge. There, of course, is no bridge at the moment. It's been swallowed up by the water, which you can also see behind me. The peak is expected tomorrow morning sometime, not too much higher than what we see here. It is comparable to the severe flooding we've seen in this region of the Hawkesbury in perhaps 1988 and also 1990. But to give you a historical scale of how bad this is currently, the peak, the record here in Windsor, would have the water 1 or 2 metres above my head where I'm standing now. So still a long way to go before records are set. Interestingly, there has been flood warnings tonight for areas much closer to Sydney. That has nothing to do with river breaking its banks. It's simply the amount of rain we have been experiencing the past couple of days and, as you can see, still continue to experience.
Thanks, Robert. The WA Liberals will elect a new leader tomorrow and the result is a foregone conclusion. A state political editor, Jeff Parry, reports there's only one candidate left standing after the other pulled out.
62-year-old David Honey will be the new Liberal Party leader. While his colleagues were swept aside one by one, he hung on and will now lead what's left of his party.
We've got to get in there and rebuild and re-engage. There'll be changes in the party and that'll be part of a structured review.
Dr Honey gets the job after the party's former deputy leader, Libby Mettam, decided not to contest. She told 7 News today she'd consulted other MPs and didn't have enough support.
Do you have priorities? We have to organise our own internal affairs. First up, we've got to organise resource sharing with the National Party. We've always done that. When the Nationals were the junior partner in the opposition.
The Nationals have given no indication if they would welcome the Liberals into some form of arrangement. It's an extraordinarily lopsided contest. The McGowan government has more MPs in its 17-member cabinet than the opposition parties have in both chambers of Parliament. Today, the renewed McGowan cabinet sat down to business for the first time since they were sworn in last Friday. And for the first time in 20 years, the Premier is also the Treasurer. Mr McGowan says an Eastern States campaign to steal WA's share of the GST is far from over, despite assurances from the Prime Minister. Speaking exclusively to Flashpoint, Mark McGowan revealed at least 3 states are agitating for more money.
I mean, Scott Morrison has said it's legislated, it's not going to change. Do you not believe him, or do you think the states are genuinely agitating to rip up the GST deal?
Well, I know they're genuinely agitating. So, in particular, South Australia, New South Wales, Tasmania, I know they are.
Jeff Parry, 7 News.
See that Flashpoint exclusive here on 7 tonight, just after 9 o'clock. What happens when we ask the Premier about how much power is too much power?
Convicted pedophile Alan Ratcliffe was in court again today as his lawyer confirmed he won't be applying for bail. Mr Ratcliffe was arrested near the South Australian border on the weekend. He appeared from Eastern Goldfields Prison on 3 charges of contravening a supervision order.
The man accused of killing Hayley Dodd almost 22 years ago has denied he played any part in her death. Francis Walk took the stand in his own trial today, claiming he wasn't anywhere near the spot it's believed the teenager went missing from.
A denial under oath. Have you ever seen Hayley Dodd? Did you pick her up in your ute? Did you kill her? Each time, Francis Walk answered no. The first time a jury's heard him talk about the day Hayley Dodd went missing, the first time her family has heard from her accused killer. The 65-year-old claims he was shopping in Mora, around 50 kilometres from where the teenager was last seen, near his property in Badgingarra, just after 11:30 on a July morning 22 years ago. Mr Walker admitted he didn't have a watch or any other way to gauge time while he was shopping, but he says he knew he was still in Mora at midday because his stomach was grumbling and the sun was straight up in the sky. Mr Walker was jailed for attacking a woman in Queensland in 2007, raping her and sexually assaulting her. He says he doesn't remember it because he'd been drinking. His version of the day Hayley Dodd disappeared, far more detailed. But questioning from the prosecution led him to concede his memories have been recreated. The disappearance of a teenager with her whole life in front of her, something many will never forget. Rory Campbell, 7 News.
Under siege, Crown Resorts are now a takeover target. The James Packer-backed group has revealed it's received an $8 billion offer from US private equity firm Blackstone. Crown shares soared on the news of the offer. Crown's board has told the stock exchange it's yet to form a view on the proposal.
A full house at the footy could be just weeks away, with the crowd cap expected to be lifted for Optus Stadium. There hasn't been a full crowd for a year because of the COVID social distancing rules.
The sun was shining, the beers were flowing, and the smiles ran from ear to ear.
Footy's back. Go the Eagles.
38,493 footy-starved fans got their fix. The biggest crowd in WA for 18 months. Ticket sales were capped at 45,000.
That number was way less a month ago, and so we'll deal with 75% now. When you've got a team, particularly like West Coast, who would sell it out most weeks, of course they would like an opportunity to get more of their fans in there.
And they will. In 4 weeks, on April 16 for the Eagles-Collingwood game in round 5, Optus Stadium is set to be full to the brim. 60,000 if WA stays on top of COVID-19.
The only thing we can do to make that happen is execute the plans as they exist as best we can right now, and then the opportunity might come our way.
We love our fans. It's so good having them back. So, yeah, we'd love the packed house.
While yesterday's game was technically a sellout, 6,000 seats remained empty. Those in attendance said they weren't worried about the pandemic.
Not at all. No.
The Dockers will get their chance to host the Purple Army this Sunday, but might need a boost in numbers on field too. 14 players are on the club's injury list, with defenders Alex Pearce and Joel Hamling both sidelined for at least 4 weeks. Ryan Daniels, 7 News.
And Samantha Jolly joins us now with an early look at weather.
And it finally cooled down today, Sam.
Oh, Rick and Sue, after 3 days in a row above 37 degrees. We haven't seen that in March in almost 10 years, so we certainly needed that break today. A more pleasant top of 27.5 degrees with some cloud cover. The sea breeze swept through the city around 11 a.m. and we had some fairly decent wind speeds today. For the rest of the metro area today, Ellenbrook got to 30 degrees. It was 29 in the Swan Valley and Morley, and a much cooler 24 along the coast. So we can thank a cold front that is brushing the south coast for our cool change. It isn't delivering any rain, but it did give us those cooling onshore winds, and it's getting even milder for our days and our nights. I'll tell you how the rest of the week is shaping up right after sports. Sue and Rick.
Thanks, Sam. 5 cars are being caught in a freeway pile-up.
The crash causing traffic chaos next.
Plus, Computer says no, the software hiccups halting an upgrade to our most expensive weapons ever.
Donald Trump prepares a comeback, but his platform of choice may surprise you.
WA's pioneering politician and trailblazer at the centre of a new monument pitch.
Coming up in sport at 6:45, exclusive Adam Simpson on Oscar Allen's next level display and the horror numbers at the Dockers.
And later, new hope for the millions of women suffering silently with debilitating pain.
Seven News brought to you by Industry Super Funds.
The police can't help themselves. My super doesn't work out for me. I'll be working forever.
Well, we've worked all our lives for this place. We'd hate to have to sell it to fund our retirement.
That's for sure.
Authorised by B. Dean for Industry Super Australia, Melbourne.
I am standing on reactor number 3. Wow. Oh my goodness.
The premiere event, smashing ratings records. Now you can see Inside Chernobyl, tonight 7:30 on 7.
Get your Woolies worth for Easter with Hot Cross bun varieties 6 to 9 pack. Any 2 for $5. Save $2. Excludes brioche buns.
That's why I pick Woolies.
At Ladbrokes, our aim is to make racing even more exciting. Introducing our new Chief Entertainment Officer,
Mike Iceberg.
I'm here to show you all how to Ladbroke it. Let's Ladbroke the action!
That's not safe.
Let's Ladbroke the riders. Ladbroke the winners! Let's Ladbroke the
Lash Sensational Mascara from Maybelline, New York. Lashes go soft, supple, and fully fanned. Fanning brush volumizes every kind of lash. Lash Sensational Mascara, only from Maybelline, New York.
Choosing local produce isn't just your guarantee of quality and freshness. It helps support Western Australia's economy, which is good for all of us.
Good choice.
That's why more West Aussies now look for the Buy West, Eat Best logo when they go shopping. Authorised by the State Government, Perth.
When you choose hospital cover with NIB, you're choosing to control your health cover. That means you can avoid public hospital waiting lists, decide when and where you get treated, and pick the specialist that you trust the most. You can choose from a range of cover options to match your needs and budget, plus choose to save now or later with a range of excess levels. Get peace of mind and search NIB today. It's worth it.
A 5-car crash shut down several lanes of Kwinana Freeway northbound around 10 o'clock last night, forcing traffic into one lane as emergency services cleaned up the mess. St John Ambulance took one woman to Royal Perth Hospital as a precaution, but no one was seriously injured.
A new US government report has warned software problems are likely to delay the modernisation of the pricey fighter jet Australia's Air Force now relies on. The report comes as powerful defence figures in the US Congress lose patience with the F-35 or Joint Strike Fighter.
The perfect stealth fighter. That's the JSF dream. The reality has been patchier.
But I want to stop throwing money down that particular rat hole.
The head of Washington's powerful Armed Services Committee
it's just painful. It just hurts.
On never-ending hiccups in what might be the most expensive weapons system ever. Lifetime cost $1.7 trillion US, more than Australia's GDP. Our RAAF already has 33, the total order 72.
We've coordinated with the Australian National Audit Office.
Now the US government's Accountability Office finds slight improvements in how quickly the jets are built, but software problems stalling battle tests and modernisation.
They're not able to give us a date that they're going to be complete with the simulator.
The oversight body warns completion dates are too optimistic.
They're not justified based on past performance.
Now the Congressional Committee has asked defence chiefs to check if some parts in the jet are made in China. The main components apparently not, but
it's very likely that there are some electronic parts that come from China.
In the United States, Tim Lester, 7 News.
Donald Trump is set to make his return to social media. The former president was banned by most major platforms back in January, including Twitter and Facebook. Now, a long-time Trump advisor has told Fox News he'll be back on social media in 2 to 3 months on his own platform. He's promising to completely redefine the game and attract tens of millions of users.
A state of emergency has been declared in Miami after police there battled to clear large crowds from the popular spring break location. Partygoers rampaged through the streets after officers used force to try to disperse the crowds over concerns they posed a coronavirus risk. Authorities have put a new curfew in place, shutting down the city from 8 p.m. each night.
There are growing calls to dedicate a statue to the WA woman who became Australia's first female Member of Parliament. It's now a century since Edith Cowan became a political pioneer, and Perth could soon see a permanent monument to honour her lasting legacy.
A parliamentary trailblazer, watching on as women fill WA's halls of power. 100 years since Edith Cowan became the first Australian woman to serve as a Member of Parliament, female members now hold almost half the seats in our state's Legislative Assembly. The social reformer from Geraldton stood up for female political process, and soon a new statue could stand tall to honour her.
She's one of the most remarkable women in Australia ever.
Prominent WA figures, including Governor Kim Beazley, mining magnate Gina Rinehart, and our first female speaker, Michelle Roberts, have backed calls to commemorate Edith Cowan.
She set a pathway for other women to follow, for other women to think, I too could do that.
There's already a public memorial for Edith Cowan, this clock tower here at the northeast entrance of Kings Park. As you can see, it's currently being given a facelift, but there are now calls for a more personal monument to be in a more prominent place.
She deserves more.
It's a busy median strip. It's not an appropriate recognition.
Already the figure on our $50 note, and the only female to have a university named after her in Australia. Now her legacy could soon be set in stone. Kate Massey, 7 News.
Flames have engulfed a heritage building in the city.
The aftermath brought traffic to a standstill. Next, the clue to what sparked the damaging inferno.
Plus, police targeted vehicles on fire, the protest against protest rules in the UK.
A former Australian sports star convicted of rape.
And the operation to save puppies trapped in a burning pet shop. That's next.
Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you won't miss a story with the West app. Follow all the news throughout the day. Stay notified with news alerts straight to your phone. Keep updated on breaking stories and share with your friends. The West app, the only news feed you need. Subscribe to The West and download the app now.
Life on the farm, sometimes it's pretty tough. First, it just stopped raining. Then the fires came through. It's life or death, to be honest. I'm leaving 3 really small kids. I've never left them before. Winning Big Brother will save our family farm and my kids would be okay.
Here they come! Oh my God! Big Brother, open the doors!
Nothing will break me.
Your kids would be proud.
Thanks, mate. Nothing like this happens to someone like me.
Having a child with special needs is quite a journey. There's an intimacy of knowing your child and advocating for your child that is different. We were so excited to hear that we had received the PNN Helping Hands grant. Mikey is a fantastic example of when these kids get the opportunity to show you what they can do, it makes all the difference for the rest of their lives.
This is us. PNN Bank.
Maltesers Dark. They're very available now.
What is greatness? It is constantly reaching for perfection. It's that voice inside, pushing you to go further. And never give up. It's what's inside that makes you great. Colgate Total, made for greatness.
Domino's Everyday Value range is now 3 times as good because it's now in 3 sizes, starting from an unbelievable $3. All your favourite value range recipes now from just $3. Domino's all new value range. Bring it in.
Are we there yet? Are we thinking of the planet? Are we helping people move? So, are we there yet?
Every day we move closer. Oh, what a feeling, Toyota.
Roll into Bridgestone Select for massive deals, like 4th tyre free on Bridgestone Ecopia and up to $100 cash back on a huge range of tyres. For tyres and auto service you can count on, you're always in safe hands at your local Bridgestone Select.
With Host Plus, low admin fees and strong long-term returns mean more super for you. So whatever plans you had, your future's still waiting for you. Host Plus, we go with you.
Jump into Easter and get your barbecue sizzling with Woolworths responsibly sourced seafood, like Tasmanian Atlantic salmon, fresh barramundi and Aussie tiger prawns to help support the future of Australian seafood.
That's why I picked Woolies.
It'll cost $500,000 to fix a heritage building in the city that's been seriously damaged by fire. Arson squad detectives don't know how the flames started, but they say the fire is suspicious after reports of people seen leaving the building.
The flames destroyed the abandoned Milligan hostel early this morning. The bottom floor of the building on Murray Street was gutted. The second story badly damaged by smoke.
Fire just broke out in the bottom floor there, just in the old deli.
Investigators aren't sure how the blaze began, but they are treating it as suspicious.
A fire scene will be conducted today and hopefully we'll determine a cause. We suspect it's suspicious due to there's been issues with homeless people sleeping in the building.
Police took a woman into custody after reports people were seen leaving the building moments before the fire started. As police investigated, parts of Milligan Street were closed off for the day. The building is heritage listed and was in the process of being remodelled before the fire broke out. Cyan Doherty, 7 News.
A royal commission into veterans' suicide is a step closer after both houses of parliament voted in favour of one being established. Veterans and their families rallied today, demanding a royal commission be called.
I'm not talking about policy. I'm talking about our kids. I'm talking about those we love.
The Prime Minister wants support for his National Commissioner to examine issues within the defence community before making a decision.
Former rugby league player Jarryd Hayne has been found guilty of raping a woman on the night of the NRL Grand Final in 2018. He assaulted the woman inside her home and left her bleeding. He's facing 14 years in jail. It's not the first time Hayne has faced rape allegations. In 2015, he was accused of assault while playing in the United States. That case was settled out of court.
The inquiry into who knew what and when regarding the alleged rape of former Liberal staffer Brittany Higgins has been put on hold. The boss of the Federal Police told a Senate committee today the PM's separate inquiry could compromise his investigation. Labor is not impressed.
The inquiry into who in Scott Morrison's office knew what and when about the alleged rape of Brittany Higgins is on hold. Why?
To ensure that there is no real or perceived intersection between my administrative inquiry and the criminal investigation.
The Senate President and the head of the Department of Parliamentary Services saying fears of compromising the police investigation similarly prevented them from detailing what they knew and did.
You are making a decision here to cover up.
It looks like there's a cover-up going on.
This whole morning has been a travesty of accountability.
Scott Morrison's department head, formerly his senior advisor, rejected that.
This is for the benefit of Ms Higgins, Senator. This is
There
not
are.
for me.
Come on.
Your cover-up on behalf of the government is just frankly disgusting.
Labor took the claims of a cover-up much further in question time, accusing Scott Morrison of misleading the parliament. Questioned about the timing of Mr Gaetjens' inquiry last Thursday, Mr Morrison said,
"He has not provided me with a further update about when I might expect that report."
But today Mr Gaetjens revealed he'd told Mr Morrison his inquiry was on hold 2 weeks ago.
Why did the Prime Minister mislead this parliament last Thursday?
The Prime Minister daring Labor to put that allegation into a formal motion, and when Mr Albanese did, the government blocked him.
Leave is not granted.
The PM is an empathy vacuum, but an accountability black hole.
I've been very clear with this House about, Mr Speaker...
Mark Riley, 7 News.
Gold Coast police have come to the rescue, saving dogs and puppies trapped in a pet shop when fire broke out in a neighbouring motorbike dealership. Officers risked their own lives to grab the terrified pups, rushing them from the burning building.
Little ones in this...
Several cats were also saved.
Police officers have been attacked and their vehicles set alight during clashes with protesters in the British city of Bristol. They were started because of frustration and fury over planned laws that would reduce people's right to protest.
A day of mayhem turned into a night of outright vandalism and violence. Bristol, the largest city in the west of England, descends into chaos. Police vans alight. Protesters climbing onto a police station with officers battling to retain control. It was dubbed the Kill the Bill protest, the latest action against new legislation in England that would make it more difficult to legally protest, with increased pressure on British police over their handling of recent demonstrations, including the vigil for murder victim Sarah Everard last weekend. In Bristol, police officers suffered broken bones. A government minister condemned the scenes as unacceptable, all in breach of coronavirus regulations too. A febrile atmosphere remained as police reinforcements tried to take back control. In London, Hugh Whitfield, 7 News.
Well, we all but skipped the season last year.
But the forecast is the flu will be back within weeks. How canines are joining the fight against the flu is next in 7 News.
Flying is back with a sail bonanza.
Endometriosis breakthrough giving hope to millions of women suffering in silence.
And in sport, in 10 minutes, a new low for the Dockers and Adam Simpson.
We knew they wouldn't go away, and it took us to the last 10 or so minutes to break the game open.
Demolition of the Liberal opposition.
An apocalyptic wipeout.
How much power is too much?
They will be building a statue to the Premier.
What stands between Mark McGowan and total control?
With almost no opposition in Parliament, we are holding Mark McGowan to account.
Flashpoint, tonight on 7.
I'm back dominating the paint. And I'm all over this 10-leg same-game multi. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Not you. Hand up. Shh. From now on, call me Shikasso.
It's shacking easy to bet anytime, anywhere with the PointsBet app.
JB's got the hottest phone deals. Grab the latest 128gig Samsung Galaxy S21 for a ridiculous $4.99 up front when you switch your number to Telstra on a $59 plan over 12 months. In-store only, minimum spend $1,207. JB, you've done it again.
Times have been tough on small business, so Visa wants to help connect consumers with small businesses that need your support. It's called Where You Shop Matters, and it's about making a conscious decision because where you shop can make a real difference.
At Telstra, our 7-day price match on a range of phones, using Telstra Plus points and trading in selected phones can help make technology more affordable.
I feel like something new.
Discover a new world of deliciousness.
Murray River Salted Double Chop.
Try the new Tim Tam Crafted Collection. What more could you wish for?
Craft Acre's building and renovating sale is on now. Building? Get the builder's discount. Renovating? No one has arranged like Craft Acre. For large orders, make us an offer. Cannington, Joondalup, Mandurah, Osborne Park and South Fremantle. Craft Acre. Best tiles, best prices.
At John Hughes, you can buy a new Hyundai, Ford, Volkswagen, Kia, Mitsubishi, Jeep, LDV or MG. Choose from over 2,000 hand-picked pre-owned cars. You can trade or sell your car, and approved applicants can get a great deal on finance. You can also service with us, or one of our mobile technicians will come to you. You can save on batteries and new tyres, and even get help when you break down. That's why more people choose John Hughes in Victoria Park. johnhughes.com.au, your car buying destination.
You can't go past IGA for hundreds of low prices right across the store. Like Vega Cheese 250-gram varieties $5 and Nescafe Blend 43 coffee 250-gram varieties $10.75. Low prices at your local IGA.
Now, Fuel Watch. Perth's petrol prices brought to you by Fuel Watch and 7 News.
Time now for a check on the markets with finance editor Gemma Acton.
Thank you. The ASX 200 has started the week off on the front foot, steadily climbing to reach 6,752 points. Crown Resorts share price jumped by 21%. That's following a takeover offer from the world's largest private equity firm, US-based Blackstone. Meantime, insurers slid as floods hit part of New South Wales and Queensland. The Aussie dollar continues to inch lower while there's ongoing softness in major commodities. And what a difference a year can make. It's now been exactly 365 days since the ASX 200 bottomed out at 4,546 points. Since those dark days of March 2020, it has gained a staggering 49%.
Flight specials are back as a rejuvenated Virgin Australia tries to bring customers back to the sky. The airline is offering seats as cheap as $189 on flights from Perth to Sydney one way. Virgin's also relaunching its business class offering, but those seats will cost more than $800 for a flight leaving Perth.
Medical experts are predicting a moderate flu season in winter, and this year dogs are coming to our rescue. An Australian first influenza vaccine is using canine cell technology to provide better immunity.
Dogs are newly confirmed as man's best friend in this year's fight against flu.
Well, we include more strains now than we ever have. There are 4 strains, 2 A's and 2 B's.
For 70 years, influenza vaccines have been cultured from chicken eggs. Now, 2021 brings a dramatic shift to a different animal, making faster, more effective vaccines.
This allows us to grow the virus in cells so we can match it to the WHO circulating strains.
Australia's new vaccine is based on dogs' kidneys, produced from a cell line back in 1958. This new technology, used for almost a decade in the US and Europe, will give us better protection against the 4 most virulent flu strains identified by the World Health Organization.
This year we've got a vaccine that matches very well the WHO strains.
But having a flu jab and a COVID vaccine same day is a no-no.
If you have a COVID vaccine, you have to wait 2 weeks before you have a flu vaccine. If you have your flu vaccine first, because COVID isn't available, you can have the COVID 2 weeks or more later.
The FluCellVax is available through your GP from today for adults and children 9 years up. Also, some pharmacists will be able to administer the jab for around $40. Helen Wellings, 7 News.
It's a painful condition for females that's baffled doctors for decades. But a male hormone could hold the key to finally treating endometriosis. Don't miss the Australian trial with an incredible transformation. That's soon on 7 News.
Baz is back now with more sport. Adam Simpson joining you tonight, Baz.
Yes, Rick. So after a gritty round 1 win, I'll speak to the coach next. Plus, injury crisis. The Dockers badly depleted after just 1 round. We'll tell you how many players are unavailable. And Buddy's back, but what about Paddy? We'll hear from the Brownlow medalist after the break.
The most popular, most viewed, most incredible Got Talent acts ever.
You're a very naughty boy. You must never do it again.
But other than that, I really enjoyed it.
in a brand new special.
You are unbelievable.
For one spectacular night.
Not expecting that.
The performances the world will never forget.
I'm going to remember this for the rest of my life.
Britain's Got Talent, acts that stormed the world. Tuesday on 7.
Feet shoulder width, that's your best bet.
You say bet?
Now just grip it and rip it.
A 350-yard bomb. And I went even longer on the Tigers tonight.
4!
PointsBet, it's shacking easy.
Great job, boys.
Car wash costs more now.
But with my Toyota's service, the price doesn't change for 5 years. I'm still feeling it.
And you can book your capped price service through the My Toyota app. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
The Maya mid-season sale is on with irresistible deals across the store. Up to 50% off a range of women's, men's and kids' fashion, shoes, accessories and homewares. While stocks last.
Maya, my store.
St Jude's has supported people with disability for over 35 years. We offer accommodation, therapy and community support to NDIS-funded participants. Search St Jude's Disability online today.
A foundation that's good for your skin. Really? True Match Foundation by L'Oréal Paris. With 80% moisturising cream and hyaluronic acid for improved skin quality in 2 weeks. True Match Foundation by L'Oréal Paris. In 40 shades.
We're worth it.
At RAC, we're the driving force for a better WA. And with the power of our members behind us, we're all in for a safer, sustainable and connected WA. We're leading initiatives to save lives on our roads. We're investing in cleaner, healthier ways to get around. And we're helping revitalise the places where we live. We're all in for a better WA. Join us. RAC. For the better.
I mean, I'm already worried that I'm not going to have enough money for when I retire, and now they're saying that I'm going to be worse off.
Authorised by B. Dean for Industry Super Australia, Melbourne.
Great car wash, boys. Oh, but last time...
It's for the club.
Yeah, but... fellas, it's like when I get my Toyota service, it's just one low price, doesn't change for 5 years.
Inflation.
I'm still feeling it.
Nothing spoils that Toyota value feeling, and you can book your capped price service through the My Toyota app. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Tonight's Sport Report brought to you by the new Toyota Hilux. Awaken your unbreakable today.
The Fremantle Dockers injury crisis has hit a new low with 14 players on the club's injury list. Scans have confirmed luckless defender Alex Pearce has an MCL injury and will miss up to 8 weeks. Fellow defender Joel Hamling will be sidelined for at least 4 weeks. He strained a ligament and also pulled a small piece of bone away from his ankle. Fremantle has also requested a review of the ruling that's caused Josh Treacy to be banned from playing in the AFL until round 5. AFLW star Kiara Bowers has been offered a 1-week suspension for this tackle. If she accepts the penalty, Bowers will be ineligible for the league's Best and Fairest award. And Monday night we talked to Eagles coach Adam Simpson. Simo, welcome again. You called it a bit of a slog. It took over 3.5 quarters. In the end, you got the Suns by 25 points.
Yeah, well, it was a bit of a challenge, particularly with the weather as well. And, yeah, they really had a go. We knew they would. They, in particular, start the season really well. Most years they did a good number on us last year. So, yeah, we knew they wouldn't go away, and it took it to the last 10 or so minutes to break the game open.
Looks like the footy's a little bit different now. Less tackles, less stoppages. Do you like it?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if Nick likes it. It was a pretty open game. I think both sides used the ball pretty well. I'm not sure if every game's going to look like that, but yeah, I think both teams took around 130 marks, and I think we had 33 tackles.
Speaking of marks, Oscar Allen continues to develop. He's been coming and building to this level. Do you think we can see a fair bit of it at that level yesterday throughout the season?
Yeah, look, I mean, last year spent a lot of time second ruck, and that takes a lot of energy as well, and we know we can go to that if we need to, and we're still working whether 3 tools will work every week, but he's definitely holding up his end. He's a genuine threat up there.
So what about Shuey and Yo? What can you tell us about their return to the team?
Not much to report on Elliot. I think he's just still taking one week at a time. It's definitely later rather than sooner in terms of his rehab. It's still progressing forward, but not to the point where we can say he's available in a week or two. Luke's a bit different. It's a very, very minor hamstring, so it's how we bring him back in, when we bring him back in, it'll be the next week or two.
Any news, Adam, on Optus Stadium and a return to 100% capacity?
No, I might have to get you to pull a few strings for us, Baz. We had 38,000 yesterday, which was fantastic. You could really feel the difference and really enjoy playing in front of our crowd. And I've said it before, the home ground advantage is nothing without supporters. So appreciate everyone turning up. Hopefully we get more next time we play.
And you got the Bulldogs at Marvel Stadium back in Melbourne after a year off. Can you believe that? 12 months and no Melbourne footy.
Yeah, I was thinking before, I haven't seen my parents since 2019, which I'm probably not alone. A lot of people with family in Victoria, it's been a real struggle to connect. So looking forward to seeing some family and friends, but yeah, looking forward to playing footy even more.
Give our best to the Simpsons, Mum and Dad, and take care of the Bulldogs, and we'll catch you next Monday. Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, Baz.
Adam Simpson. Buddy is finally back. Swans coach John Longmire has confirmed Lance Franklin will return against Adelaide on Saturday. It'll be Buddy's first game since round 23, 2019.
The AFL great played a half a game in the reserves yesterday, and that was enough.
We've got to make sure we don't get into the habit of just playing him every week and he recovers, doesn't train, doesn't do his strength work that he needs to do, which is really important, and then plays again on the weekend.
Patrick Dangerfield has spoken out ahead of tomorrow's tribunal appearance for this bump. The Geelong star is facing a big suspension for a head clash that left Adelaide's Jake Kelly concussed.
Look, it's a contact game, but we're also going to make sure that we're looking after concussion and approaching that in the right way and respecting that. But it's also a game that's played in 360 at high speed, and it's been a part of the game for a long period of time.
Dangerfield says all players should be allowed to protect themselves, but he will have to explain why he decided to bump Kelly.
That's what it is. It's a split moment to make a decision on protecting yourself with incoming opponents. And that happens every week.
And the AFL's new medical sub-rule is being put to the test after Geelong indicated Sam Menengola could make a quick recovery and be fit for Friday night's crucial clash against Brisbane. Adrian Barrage, 7 News.
Thanks, Para. Aussie golfer Matt Jones is now a 2-time winner on the PGA Tour. Jones tamed PGA National and its notorious bear trap to win the Honda Classic by 5 shots. Now 40. His second tour title comes 7 years after his first, and this one earned him $1.6 million.
I've had some tough times in between that now, but sorry, pretty emotional. 7 years.
And whenever Matt wins, well, it's our perfect excuse to bring up these classic pictures of his lesson from Greg Norman as a 6-year-old boy. The Great White Shark will be very happy. Josh Tracy, not Tracy, I know. Justin Longmuir on 7 News tomorrow night. The injury's not good at Fremantle. Rick and Sue.
Thanks, Baz. It's a chronic health condition affecting more than 1 million women, and while there's no cure for endometriosis, there is hope.
Australian researchers believe testosterone, a hormone often associated with men, can stop the debilitating symptoms.
From this to this in just a few hours.
I looked like I was 9 months pregnant, and that is exactly what people think.
And the pain simply unbearable.
It hurts at times to walk, it hurts to sit, it hurts to go to the bathroom, it hurts to quite literally be alive.
Severe bloating's one of many symptoms 38-year-old mother of 5, Julie Hayes, has learned to live with after years of suffering from endometriosis. Each flare-up can last for days.
It's literally stopped me going out, it's stopped me from competing in sporting events, it's held me back at work, it has controlled my life.
It's a disease that's baffled doctors for decades. The tissue that's found inside Julie's uterus is also growing in other parts of her body. As symptoms vary, a diagnosis alone can take up to 10 years. Treatment can be invasive and often ineffective.
I have had 8 surgeries, removal of fallopian tubes, I have taken almost every medication under the sun.
We actually don't have enough tools in the toolbox to manage the conditions for all women.
But a new study's revealed the hormone testosterone could be a potential game changer. The trial looked at 56 women all suffering some degree of period or pelvic pain. What it found was that those with higher levels of testosterone were better off.
We thought that the estrogen in women may be the problem. It may be that the testosterone in men is protecting them from chronic pain.
With additional research, Dr Evans believes a viable hormone treatment could be developed in just 2 years. Gertie Sperling, 7 News.
Sam Jolly's got your weather next, and time for a cool change this week, Sam.
Rick, especially after our scorching hot weekend, the temperature dropped today. It's even cooler for the rest of our week. I'll have your forecast right after the break.
They're about to buy their dream home together, and they've got one person to thank.
A miracle worker.
And she has been great for us. I got a lovely couple on the hook.
I have got such a bad feeling about this.
But you'd better not get in her way. Be very careful about what you say next. Trust me, Irene, you do not want to mess with me. Home and Away, this week on 7.
I went straight to the bank. I said, if you don't give me a loan on the spot, I'll walk. It's the only way.
There are other ways.
With an Aussie broker, you can access more than 3,000 products from over 20 lenders. Go straight to Aussie.
Thinking about air conditioning for your home?
For that cool, comfortable feeling, you need Ambience Air.
You get more for less with Ambience Air. Save up to 30% off Fujitsu and Panasonic ducted reverse cycle systems. Save hundreds on Breeze Air whole home evaporative coolers. Invest now with our easy finance solutions. Contact us and find out why it's more comfortable choosing Ambience Air.
Call Ambience Air.
Place a head-to-head bet, and if your team lead by 10 points or more at any time but lose, get money back, up to $50 cash. Tab Touch, better your bet. Gamble responsibly.
Dynamo Professional stain experts are testing the toughest stains to develop our best performing stain removal. Dynamo Professional Oxy Plus removes stains for a superior clean. Try Dynamo Professional.
Energy. Internet. Mobile. Now all in one place. AGL. Progress for life.
Telstra's smart modem is backed up by Australia's best 4G network. So if the connection to your house stops, your home Wi-Fi won't. Experience reliable Wi-Fi with the Telstra smart modem.
What is greatness? It is constantly reaching for perfection. It's that voice inside, pushing you to go further. And never give up. It's what's inside that makes you great. Colgate Total, made for greatness.
You'll be amazed at what you discover at Perth's modern food emporium, the Herdsman Market. Fine fruit and vegetables, home-cooked gourmet meals, premium meats and seafood, and artisan deli. It's all under one roof at the Herdsman Market, inspiring food.
Here's tonight's footy legend. Listen to 92.9 Triple M Breakfast tomorrow.
Ring in with the correct name and you could win $1,000.
Footy legends grand in the hand. Thanks to 7 News and 92.9 Triple M.
The post-COVID job surge that's desperate to find seniors willing to work. What's driving the push to get them back on the tools? 7 News at 6.
Welcome back. We got a break from the intense heat today after 3 days in a row above 37 degrees. We had a 10-degree drop. It was a much milder 27.5. Right now it's 23 degrees and the winds are south-southwest. For the rest of the metro area today, Ellenbrook got to 30 degrees. It was 29 in our Swan Valley, a much cooler 24 along our coast thanks to that sea breeze, and just 23 for Hillary's. For the rest of the state, flooding in the Kimberley is easing except in the Fitzroy. Marble Bar and Port Hedland were our hotspots with 36 degrees, and there were some light showers along the south coast as a weak cold front moved through. It hasn't delivered any rain to the metro area, but it gave us those cooling onshore winds. We do have another cold front due on Thursday, but there's no rain expected with that one either. On the east coast, as we heard in the news, the weather emergency in New South Wales continues. They have another 24 hours of intense rain. Queensland has been battered too. The southeast expecting up to 200 millimetres more rain over the next couple of days. For WA tomorrow, wet and stormy in the Kimberley, windy from Exmouth to Geraldton, partly cloudy in 23 in Bunbury, and it's looking cloudy for Albany tomorrow. On local waters, south to southeasterly winds tomorrow 15 to 25 knots, seas to 3 metres, and the swell will peak at 2. So we have a sunny but mild week ahead, well below the March average. Tomorrow will be mostly sunny and just 25 degrees, windy along our coast, and we're getting down to 14 tonight. Then sunny and 26 on Wednesday, 25 Thursday, and 26 to end the working week. Then it does warm up again for our weekend. Sunny and 30 on Saturday, and we're getting up to 32 on Sunday. And now for tonight's winning lotto numbers. They are 8, 18, 42, 6, 24, 21, and those supplementaries are 23 and 37. Those numbers again, 8, 18, 42, 6, 24, 21, and the sups are 23 and 37. Sue and Rick.
Thanks, Sam. That's 7 News right up to the minute. We'll be back with updates throughout the evening.
And for the latest stories, head to 7news.com.au and follow us on Facebook. Enjoy the rest of your night here on 7.